Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your girl Shannon at Can We Talk Sports? Oh, I'm hearing echo.
Okay.
I'm here with my host.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Am I muted? Can you
No,
hear me?
yeah,
We
loud
can
and clear, honey. Loud.
What's up, everybody? It's Karen. K Dog. Can we dog sports?
Wait,
What's up?
wait. Okay, let me get to this. And my other host.
Hello, I'm Carmen, aka Mama D.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. I need to ask you all these questions. What's up with these AKA K Dog, Mama D? Help me understand the process of this.
Well, you supposed to been working with me on what I need to do when I come in. And so I just remember in high school we had a women's group, a little girls group, and I was K Dog. So I was like, okay, let me bring in that. Let me go back to high school. I'm K Dog.
K Dog.
Dog.
Okay, dog. And
Okay.
when I was the athletic assistant, like all of those kids were my kids, and so they all called me Mama D. So if you asked any of the kids that that came up with my kids when they were playing sports, or when I was the athletic assistant, they'll say, "Oh, Mama D." Yeah.
So
So
listen,
yeah.
y'all. We got K Dog on the building and Mama D. I can't right now. So next we're gonna have a shirt that's gonna say K Dog on the front. Then we're gonna have
Right,
one that
and
says Mama D.
Mama
I'm just
D.
gonna be I'm just gonna be Shannon because I can't with this K Dog and Mama D, y'all. But anyway, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So how has your week been going so far?
Uh, my week it's been okay. It's been all right. I'm just complaining.
Okay. And
You've
what
been
about
busy,
you?
Karen. You've been to
AK
Oklahoma City. You've been to Tulsa. You've been
I
busy.
know, and God keep giving me another idea. I'm like, come on,
Wait,
God.
stop.
Girl, you know
Stop.
what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to
Step
write that
away.
idea down.
No, stop. Step away from the idea. Back up. Because see, Karen will call me. Okay, Shannon, listen, I got this idea. Okay, Karen, don't add no more to the plate. I need you to you know how to say step away from the drink? I need you to step away from the idea for about 5 minutes and let's finish the rest of these that you already got going.
I feel like
Oh
there's a
God.
special anointing right now,
Right
and it
now.
just so happens that this next idea includes y'all.
Mm,
Can you hear me
It
now?
that's
includes
scary,
Can you hear me?
Shannon.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? You know that's
Yes.
that.
it
Uh-huh.
includes y'all. We're gonna do a commercial.
What kind of commercial?
A commercial, I think right now it's gonna be in the realm of football games and this ultimate fan experience. So I need you guys to come in to demonstrate what this will look like.
Fan experience.
Y'all not saying that. Right, a fan experience.
Y'all heard it right here from K Dog. Y'all heard it right here. And Can We Talk Sports from K Dog, right? Like I was gonna say, step away from the idea.
I just need money. That's all I need. I said, God, I just need money. You keep giving me ideas. I just need money to do it because I'll do it, God. I'll do it. I
She
just need
sure
the money.
will. She sure will. But
I'm
I
trying to find
mean,
some lipstick.
oh Lord. Only on Can We Talk Sports will K Dog look for lipstick.
Be looking
Okay.
for lipstick.
I gotta find some lipstick because Carmen is looking cute with hers, so I can't
Oh,
be.
thank you. I
See?
went red.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I don't do red very often, but I went red today.
Oh,
Oh
that's hot.
goodness. Only
Oh,
on
thank
Can We
you.
Talk Sports that we're supposed to be talking about sports. That we are talking about lipstick and oh my Lord. What happened to the
We,
sports?
we
I'm just trying
mamas.
to
We mommies.
oh,
We do it
y'all
all.
or in mama mode right now.
We in money mode. We do it all. We wear
Right?
multiple hats.
Right? All at the same time. I like
Okay.
your hat, Shannon.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. You won last weekend. So I was like, no, it was this weekend. No, last weekend. It was one of them weekends. An
Representing.
opener. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, that was a good, well, no, can't say that was a good game because it was 48-0. That wasn't even a game. That was a spanking. That wasn't even a
Ooh.
spanking. That was a beating.
Hey, hey, did you guys
Wait, that wasn't
see?
even a beating. That was a slaughter. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to come back because that was just like,
There was a slaughter. Hey, you guys see the Big Ten is coming back. They're like, whoa. I guess too
really?
many
Yeah.
parents and athletes and everybody like they were suing people and they're
Yeah.
back. Big Ten is back. I think there's only one big conference left that is reevaluating.
Who is
Everybody
that?
else is
Is
playing.
Pac-12?
Pack somebody. Yeah. Is it?
She said,
Yeah.
pack somebody.
Pack somebody.
Pac-12 is like USC, UCLA, all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They got to get into action. Got to
Yeah.
get into action. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How are they gonna do that?
It's
Because
What did you
they would
say?
have canceled those games. How are they gonna do that? All of a sudden come back, and what, they're gonna just schedule within themselves?
They
Probably
don't know.
within.
Probably so.
yes.
They'll figure it out. They'll
They'll
figure
work
it
it
out.
out. But
Yeah.
my
Oh,
question
they'll
all
work it out.
along was if they're not playing until spring and you got seniors graduating, like how is that going to affect their senior season
I don't know.
and their ability to like even try out for the pros and to go to all the different camps and stuff? Like how would that affect them to go to um all the tryouts and stuff?
That's a.
If they're
I don't
not
know.
playing till spring.
It's gonna be a big mess. That's all I know to tell you. It's
Yeah.
it's, it's just they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. So talking about football, DeSoto U, what's going on over there?
The Soto U. So we Lavisha Chanat, he went number 42 in the draft. He made his first rookie touchdown at the game. And he's the
Okay,
Yes.
only
What
one
team is
rookie.
that? What
He
team is
plays
that?
Jaguars.
Jaguars.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So I got to reach out to his mom and bring her on the show and say, okay, how was that? That was awesome.
We know you were
Yeah.
yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we know
Yes.
you were yelling. You are like DeSoto's number one cheerleader. Are they gonna how's their season? Are they gonna the fans in the at the game? How are they gonna do it?
See, there you go. You picking that little idea.
I didn't pick an
Mhm.
idea. I just asked the look, K Dog. I just asked the question. She said
Well,
I'm picking an idea.
we don't have our first we have a scrimmage on the 24th, and the season doesn't start until October the 2nd. So see, we have 2 weeks to get it together, ladies.
Well, our commercial.
Yeah.
I went silent. I kind of blacked out for a minute. I didn't know who she was talking to.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know. So okay, okay.
That's what we're gonna do.
All right. So listen, we about to shift because we have a guest. Derrick is coming to the show, but before he comes on, we're gonna watch a little video about Mr. Derrick.
Are you prepared for what's next for you? Like once you hang up the cleats, get out the pool, put down the ball, put down the bat, put down the glove. Are you prepared for what's next? You've honestly played sports your entire life. And that's all you think you're good at. And now that your playing career is coming to an end, you're not really sure what to do next. Those skills you once knew no longer apply. And for the first time in your life, you lack confidence in your ability. You're a little insecure about what people think. But this is a fact of the matter. There are over 500,000 athletes in NCAA and only 1% go pro. And if you are in that 1%, at some point in time, by choice or by force, you have to ask yourself this question: what's next for you? Hi, I'm Derrick Furlow Jr., and I've played football for over a decade of my life, from the big stage to the SEC to a short stint professionally. And I remember being exactly where you are right now during my transition into life after sports. I felt lost, I felt alone, I wasn't sure who my identity was outside of being an athlete. I wasn't sure what was next for me, and I wasn't sure what value I brought to the world. Until one day I remembered when I was learning my new playbook my senior year of college, and coach said, "Hey Derrick, this play is the same as that play." And that made me realize he was comparing my old playbook to my new playbook. And that simple phrase changed my life forever. If I can take something that I had learned from my past, from playing sports, and correlate it into my new future of life and in business, I can get a true unfair advantage to give myself that success that I really want. And that's why I wrote the book, What's Next? How to Transition Like a Champion. So you don't have to suffer during your transition into life after sports like me and other athletes.
Welcome to the show, Derrick Furlow. How are you?
Hi.
Can you hear it? Welcome to the show. I think he's muted. Can't hear us?
I can't hear.
We can't hear him. Okay, he's going to have to go out and come back in.
Okay.
Okay, he's going to go out and come back in.
So Jamari, why, if you want to, we can go ahead and play the other video if you while we're waiting for him to come back in. And then we can just go on through because it was the first video.
I'm inspirational speaker and author Derrick Furlow Jr. Being raised in Southwest Atlanta by a single mom with 3 kids, we moved around a lot. In the midst of the drugs, the violence, and despair all around me, we didn't have much. But there's one thing we did have. That was this never settle or live below your potential attitude. So in this relentless pursuit of continual improvement journey, I saw football as a vehicle that could change my family's life. I knew there were a lot of odds against me. I wasn't always the biggest, the strongest, the fastest, or the smartest. But I did know this: others don't determine your success. You do. So that's when I decided to accept nothing, defy everything, and attack life. So after making it to the University of Tennessee to play football and my professional dreams coming up short, reality set in. I was now in the real world with real bills and real responsibilities, dealing with the change, struggle, adversity, hardship, and challenges that we all go through in life. So whatever the next phase of my life was, I knew it was going to be better than my last. It was time for me to transition. I knew everything you're growing through is preparing you for where you're going to. With the proper perspective, knowledge, and some massive action, anything is possible. You just got to know who you are outside of what you do. This helped me realize that sports was just a temporary stage for a permanent purpose. My true purpose is bigger than me. I was put here to impact your perspective, inspire you to be great, and empower you with the tools and knowledge that it would take. Impact, inspire, empower, IE for short. Since I figured out the blueprint for transitioning like a champion in any phase of sports, life, and business, I've been on a mission to help people transition from who they are to who they want to become, from where they are to where they're looking to go. I believe you're either in transition, just came out of a transition, or transition is on its way. The people who have success in life have mastered the art of the transition. My job is to put people in position to transition like a champion.
All right, let's try this again. Welcome to the show, Derrick Furlow. How are you? Can you hear us?
Oh,
We're having technical difficulties right now. He can't hear us.
let me jump out since I'm calling from a phone the phone too. Let me see if that affects it. Let me jump out, you guys.
Okay.
How do I jump out?
All right, Derrick, can you hear us?
I am wonderful and blessed to be here. Thanks for having me
There we
on.
go.
Yeah, we can hear you. All right, listen, powerful
Yay.
videos. I took some notes and stuff, but before we get there, because you had some pretty good quotes
I
there.
can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Derrick?
Can,
We can
can
hear
y'all hear me
you.
now?
Yeah, we can hear you a little bit. Yes, we're working on the technical
Can
difficulties,
y'all hear
y'all.
me?
We're gonna get it right. Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us? I don't know, Karen. Maybe if you mute yours, is that okay? Can you hear us
Can y'all
now?
hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I think he's freezing a little bit. Can you hear us, Derrick? Okay. Oh, you can hear me now? Okay. But
Yeah, we can. I can't hear
I can't
him
hear you.
now.
But I can't hear you. So maybe we'll have to log him off and then try to come back and see if we can get him back again and just have him come back in. All right. Carmen.
Yes.
That was some good. The video was pretty I took some notes, right? Like because
Amazing.
we get to watch it before it comes on the show in the green room.
Right.
And
Right.
he said something about a temporary stage for a permanent purpose.
I loved that. I loved it. Sports
Right.
was a temporary stage for a permanent
Permanent
purpose.
purpose.
Like, whoa,
Well, you know
that's
what?
so deep.
It is because I don't think people, or especially parent, I mean athletes. Matter of fact, we were watching a movie. I've got to go back and finish it, but it was about a football player, and they didn't need him anymore, and so he didn't save his money, and it's on UMC, and he didn't
Hmm.
save his money, and so he goes back home. His car get repoed. He doesn't have money saved, and so he's living with his mom, and then he's trying to find love. But the point is, he's like, well, I didn't have a backup plan, right?
Yes,
Like I didn't,
exactly.
because his friend goes, well, now that you're back, he was like, okay, so did you? I know you probably put money away, and he goes, no, I blew through it, and I was just like,
Mm-mm.
wow,
Mm.
like how many of them? Because he made it, he played 3-4 years in the league,
But you
and
think you're gonna play forever, but that's not the case.
nope, it's not the case at all. So that's why I can't wait to get in this conversation. Derrick, can you hear us now?
I can hear y'all loud and clear. Can y'all hear me?
Oh,
Yay.
oh, this is perfect. Okay, so we were talking about basically, I was telling her a movie that I'm watching on UMC about a football player played 3-4 years in the league. It's a movie, and they didn't need him anymore, and he didn't save his money, blew through it. Lost his car, don't have nothing, and so when you made a comment, you said a temporary stage for a permanent purpose. And I think when people when they get to the league or a professional place in sports, they don't think about things like that. That this is
Hmm.
a temporary stage for a permanent purpose. Other words, is this is temporary, but if I play my cards right, build it right, whether it's financial, coming up with another business idea, it will set me up for a permanent purpose. So anyway, we want to kind of go back and tell us a little bit about your journey, um, growing up as a kid and going into football.
Well, I would say that was you said a mouthful with that, so I appreciate y'all for catching that line in there. But
Yeah.
as far as myself, being raised by a single mom with 3 kids in Southwest Atlanta, we had a lot of different challenges that we faced, and I was forced that my mom never really settled, which on the back end caused us to move around a lot. And in every different place we moved to, I seen the opportunity to just kind of grow and develop at a young age. And then finally we moved out of the inner city of Atlanta down to Griffin, Georgia. And my mom met her husband. And that was probably one of the biggest blessings in disguise because she no longer was raising 3 kids by herself, which she had help. And at that time, I was getting ready to go into high school, and I seen sports, particularly football, as a vehicle that can help change our life for the better. So in the midst of the drugs and the violence and all the things that was going on around us, I just happened to pay attention that a lot of guys that were bigger than me, stronger than me, and faster than me were doing things that doesn't necessarily get them to where they want to go, even though they had those athletic skills. So I just took it to my head as a mental note: don't drink, don't smoke, don't do this, don't do that. If you want to take this route, because I had guys that had examples in front of me that blew it. So I was fortunate enough that I learned from other people's mistakes. I didn't have to learn from my own mistakes. And by the time I got to high school, I realized that sports I was pretty good at. Honestly, I wasn't sure which sport I liked the best. And we finally moved out of Griffin. My stepdad got a job. We got a promotion with a raise, and we got moved to Arkansas. Now, I'm not sure if any of y'all ever been to Arkansas, but coming from Atlanta, going to Arkansas, it wasn't nothing there for me. So it was a culture shock. So when I got there, that's when sports got serious, because I had to get up out of there. And that's when I came up with my Get Out of Arkansas plan. And I came up with my first plan I ever had in my life, and it was to get me a full ride scholarship. And I thought it could have been in basketball, football, or track, but come to find out, I really didn't like track that much. So when I got to Arkansas, they had us running, and I told coach I didn't really like it because it felt like punishment. So track went out the window. Basketball, I actually enjoyed basketball, but we went home to Atlanta over Christmas break during basketball season. And I guess he was expecting me to stay for whatever reason that was. But all my family was back in Atlanta. So we went home to Atlanta, and I come back, and he said, "You missed practice in a game. You got to run 500 bleachers." And at that point, I told coach I ain't like basketball that much either. So that was my last time playing basketball.
That's
So
all it is.
right. So I was default football. And at that moment, I just put everything I had into that game. And in that process, I started to get some attention and started getting these potential scholarship offers. And over that next year's time frame, I had this game plan. They Get Out of Arkansas plan was to rush for 2,200 yards, 20 touchdowns, and take that school to their first state championship. And I came really close to doing that. We went 11-0 and lost one game before the state championship. And I was devastated, but I realized all I had to do was get back to work, because those letters started to come in. As far as just they was interested in me, so I knew the game plan was working. But going into my senior year, I went to visit a place that I wasn't going to go, the University of Arkansas, and ended up coming back with a meniscus injury from that camp. And they were supposed to scope my knee, and I ended up waking up from that knee scope with an ACL repair. So everything that I had worked for was completely took away from me on a surgery that I wasn't even supposed to have. So at that point, life flashed before my eyes. I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm frustrated. I put all this work in, and all of a sudden it didn't go how I thought it was going to go. So I'm asking, why me, Lord? And, you ask that question, sometimes you got to be careful, because you might get an answer. And
Right.
as I'm doing rehab one day, he said, "Hey, I gave you that stage for a bigger purpose, and you was using it for your own selfish ambitions, reasons, and goals. So I had to take it away from you to get your attention." And at that moment there, I knew sports was bigger than me. I knew it was for something that was bigger than me. I just wasn't sure how to use it or what was it for. And that's when I had to take the long road. And the football scholarships disappeared. All those interest letters stopped coming in, and I was back down to the ground zero with no opportunity. Missed my whole senior year, and just this hope and this passion, and this I knew I was supposed to have this outcome of playing on a big stage in the SEC. And sure enough, Lord came through for me in the clutch. I got locked in with him and started living a little better. And I got this letter in the mail from the University of Tennessee, inviting me to a spring game. I had a chance to go up, meet the coaches and the team. And sure enough, they told me, they said, "Hey, Derrick, we know how your knee has affected you. And right now, honestly, we want you to come here, but we can't give you a full ride until we know how your knee's going to respond. So if you come here and your knee responds how it's capable of responding, we got a full ride scholarship waiting on you." And I didn't let him finish the sentence after that. I said, "Sign me up." And that's kind of how the story happened. I got there, had to earn this thing all over again, which made me come in with a chip on my shoulder. And I thought I got it a whole lot faster than I received it. Went to them after my first camp and asked, "Can I get my full scholarship?" And they said no. So at this point, I was still frustrated. and mad, but realized, okay, put in a little bit more work and see. And sure enough, that's going into that sophomore season. A good friend of mine, Inky Johnson, gets hurt, and his arm is paralyzed. He's no longer able to play the game again, and it gave me some perspective. I was mad about a scholarship, and this guy almost lost his life and had lost the use of his arm. And at that moment, the Lord hit me again. He said, "Hey man, I gave you the stage for something bigger than you, and you still focus on your personal, selfish ambitions, reasons, and goals. So you weren't doing what you were supposed to be doing. So you weren't getting what you thought you was going to get." And I had just had to lock back in and recommit my life to Christ, and just actually realize that stage was something bigger than me. And as I started focusing on helping my teammates become better young men and better players and just better God-like men, it's amazing how the doors open up for me, where I end up adding value off the field and in the classroom and across the board to the team. That I ended up getting my full ride scholarship. So the grind paid off. It wasn't how I thought it was going to be. It wasn't in the route that I thought it was going to go. But when I stopped focusing on myself and just start paying attention to this bigger purpose, this bigger mission that we're all here to do, everything worked out how it's supposed to work out. So I'm thankful for the challenge. I'm thankful for the adversity, and I'm grateful that I was able to go through some stuff that made me grow up and become more mature. And that gave me this better purpose in life. It helped me see what I was truly here to do.
Wow,
so that was the short and sweet version of it. I know we probably need to chat a little bit, so I'm gonna stop talking right there.
No, I mean that.
Wait, Shannon, wait, I gotta go right here. He said Arkansas. I'm from Arkansas. Now
Wait,
where you at?
Wait,
you at?
you was trying to get out of Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Crossett. You know the McDaniels. My daughter, daddy's from Crossett, Arkansas. I'm from Morton, Arkansas. I went to UCA.
Oh, we played y'all in the playoffs. We played. That was the second team on that undefeated streak that we beat.
So you know K-Dog then, right?
Oh,
K-Dog
K-Dog
from Arkansas. Is that how you do it?
Me then.
You know, is that how you do it? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so wow, small world, Arkansas. Okay, I like what you said. You said you had a get out of Arkansas game plan.
Yeah.
Right? And so with that, you put things in motion, which landed you an opportunity at Tennessee. But the thing that stuck out is when you said it basically you had to get out of your plan. And I think that is the hardest thing for a lot of athletes to do. It's because they're so focused on, I'm going to make it to the league. I'm going to have this amount of money. This is how it's going to go. And I think because no one really sits down and which you probably are doing now, but not a lot of people sit down and say, okay, hold up. Here's the reality of the 1%. It may not go the way you think. You may not go full drafted. You know, we don't challenge our athletes to think about just in case, right? So they're stuck on, this is the formula. Like, you can't change my formula. But reality hit you to the point where God's like, no, I'm going to change your formula. And the fact that you yielded and said, okay, God, change my formula. And even seeing your friend on the team, because that was I seen the hit, and it was like, man, that was a very tough hit that Inky got. It was just like, whoa. But mentally, let me ask you this question. During this process, how were you mentally? Did you fight through depression? Did you fight through, I know you fought through anger. Just kind of tell us a little bit mentally, when you realized my focus has got to change. Did you feel like you failed? Did you feel like you weren't good enough? What was that like?
Well, Shannon, I would say it's a few things. First, I knew that the goal still was there, regardless of the path I was going to take to reach the goal. So at that point, the goal wasn't necessarily to play in the league. The goal was to get that vehicle to take care of my family. So I still wanted to put my family in a better situation. So whether it was going to be league or not, I still had work to get done. So at that point, it was like, okay, the plan might not go according to my plan, but I still got work to get done. So my thought process was, outside of the anger, the frustration, the wondering why, I really believe that everything that you're growing through is preparing you for where you're going to. And being raised by a single mom in Southwest Atlanta, I had faced adversity of not having food, or not having the bills being paid, and having to adjust and having to move and having to pivot and having to just figure it out. So when I got hurt, it was kind of like, bro, you don't have to figure stuff out before. This is just something else you got to keep figuring out until you get the outcome that you want. It might not necessarily be what you thought it was going to be, but if you keep doing the work, just like you have done on the football field, you're going to get the outcome that you want. It's kind of like practice. If you practice a play long enough, you get good at the play, you get the outcome that you want. It might not look how you thought it was going to look, but the outcome is the same. You score a touchdown, whether it's a running play or fumble recovery, whether it's a pick, whether it was a pass play. You want to put points on the board. It don't matter how you think you're going to get them, as long as you get the point. So I had this goal of changing my family's livelihood. I thought football was going to be the vehicle, and once I kind of got it derailed a little bit, I said, okay, the scholarship route off the bat out of high school, being the number one guy in the state, might not be the route. But I still got to put in this work. What are the other options? And I just kept working. I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to keep working. Like, I didn't know that it was like, I didn't. Nobody told me that, hey, if it don't work out this way, it won't work out. I mean, you might hear it and see it, but most of the time when you see it, you see guys quit. So I just figured if I keep working, it was bound to work out. So I didn't know enough to not keep working, honestly.
Wow. Go ahead, Karen.
So I've heard you say about, your mom being a single mom, and you wanted to be the vehicle to change the change for your family. And so we hear that a lot. How do us as parents keep our kids from taking on that burden or that situation to want to try to help an adult to change their lives? Does that make sense?
I honestly, Karen, don't think you can prevent that from being a thing. It's a driver for some kids. Like my older sister, my younger brother didn't feel that way. I did. So I don't necessarily think it's something that you can turn on or turn off or do or not do. However, I just was never content or satisfied with the lifestyle or the life that we had, and felt like we could be more, do more, have more. And as I kind of got exposed to different stuff, it made me realize, well, why can't we have that too? Okay, you know what? Since I'm one who got this itch for more, let me do something that's going to allow us to get it. But I came from the same place my sister and my brother came from, but they didn't necessarily have the same itch, or if they did, it just didn't drive them enough to put those plans in place or to do those things. So I can't say you can't put something like that in place as a parent. However, a lot of times it's just that driving force that's going to push that kid, whichever one it is. It could be all of them. It could be one of them. It could be none of them. It's going to push them to want to be more, do more, have more. But at the end of the day, parents are just doing what they do best and providing to the best of their abilities. But I don't think you can. It's something you can dictate or determine what kid's going to get it, what kid might have it, and is that a burden on the kid? It wasn't a burden on me, honestly. It was probably the biggest blessing in disguise for me, because if it wouldn't have been something that pushed me, I'd be back doing the same thing some of my homies I grew up with doing. Not to say that nothing's wrong with what they're doing. However, it's mediocre to our true potential. We living below our potential. So it was one of those things that made me want to have more, do more. As of right now, I'm out in Montana, Glacier National Park, was fly fishing. I ain't never fished a day in my life, but I'm out here fly fishing. So that's what that did.
Did he say he fly fishing, y'all?
Fly fishing.
Fly fishing?
That's when you have the high boots, those high boots on, and you you're out in the water.
See, I ain't get the whole outfit on. I got some high boots. They still a little they still got some little swag to them though.
Y'all, he said the boots gotta have a little swag to them, right? Like fly fishing. But,
so Derrick,
okay.
I have to ask you, because you've mentioned your mom several times, and you mentioned that she told you guys never settle or live below your potential. So talk to us a little bit, us moms, a little bit about how your mom really encouraged you, and what are some of the things you saw her going without or struggling through that encouraged you to, I want my family to do better?
I really appreciate that question, Carmen. And I would tell you this: she never said the word; she just did the action, and I just was happened to be that kid that paid attention. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the times, whenever we would move, I hated moving. I hate moving now. That's why I don't move a lot. But we would move every other year, and what I realized was we moved to better apartments because we stayed where there's government housing, Section 8 projects. Every time we would move, it'll be to a better situation or a better location, even though all of them was still to a degree in the same area, but it was a steady strive to put us in a better environment, right? So I kind of caught that. We never stayed there. And even though I had friends, I never kept those friends long enough because I get to a school year, and by the time that next school year come around, we was moving again. So she was always trying to do better our lives by putting us in a better environment, better situation. So I caught that. She never
Mm-hmm.
settled. The second thing I always noticed, she would go without a lot of things. I remember us not having a car and we ride the MARTA bus. And she would go without just to make sure we had the basic necessities. But I had some of my guys that was around me. She would say their home is not in order. They can have the latest J's or these these polo shirts, but their home ain't in order. And we'll go over there and they won't have no lights or have to come to our house and get the boiled water on the stove so they can take their hot bath. So just paying attention when I was young, I didn't really get it, but I always seen the action that kind of was to do better. You can do better. And finally, she got a first car. It was always that strive to do better. So I just kind of felt like as I got older and I could control my own destiny in my own life, I'm like, well, crap. If I don't like where I'm at, I can't depend on my mom to change the situation. She's doing the best she got with what she has. So it's up to
Mm-hmm.
me to do the rest. So I just seen the examples of it. So I just wanted to implement it and never get comfortable being comfortable because she never got comfortable where she was at, because that would have been the case. We'd have never moved around four or five different times in elementary school before I even got to middle school to get in a better situation. We would never move out of Atlanta to get to a better situation like Griffin, so she could meet her husband. We could have settled like a lot of the people that we were around did. So that's kind of how I just paid attention to it. And that was just what I took from the whole everything that didn't go in our favor. I always seen her striving to make the situation better than what it probably really was. So definitely now that when I look back on it, I know it wasn't as good as it should have been. But she always strove to make it better.
That's my type of mom. I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
you, because that's how my mom was. But as moms, that's what we're supposed to do. Try to always make it better. Each move, each chess move, I like this. Each step should be better. So we have a question
Yep.
from Guy Bowling. He says some say a plan B distracts from plan A. What are your thoughts about that statement?
Well, I feel this. You can box yourself in when you put titles and labels on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you remove that label, it removes that box and it removes that thought process. So I would just say I got this end goal, and by any means necessary, that's the end goal. And if the end goal was to provide and put my family in a better lifestyle, okay, I'm trying to go to the lead. That didn't work out. It ain't a plan B. It's okay. I still got to get the better lifestyle for my family and provide for my family. So okay, I'm gonna get into sales. Okay, I don't figure the sales thing out, and maybe they putting a cap on my commission. I'm gonna start my own business, start speaking, write a book. Like the end, it was the goal still the same. The goal
Right.
still to put points on the board. The goal still to win the
Mm-hmm.
game. I just didn't mind changing the vehicle that was going to allow me to get the result that I wanted. So when you start thinking plan A, plan B, plan C, you kind of put yourself in the box that, hey, I got to do this because this is what I want. And if I don't do this, then that makes me a failure or something like that. Then I have to revert back to this one. No, it's like I want to put points on the board. I'm going to get a touchdown. I don't care if I have to block a field goal, block a point. I don't care if I have to pick it off. I don't care if I have to run and play. I don't care if I have to pass the ball. I don't care if I have to do an onside kick. Like at the end of the day, I'm going to put points on the board. So the goal is the goal, regardless of the process it takes you to reach the goal. And I think once you differentiate that, you can kind of get out of your way and let everybody else get out of your head with this idea of a plan A, plan B, plan C. Have a plan, bro, and execute it. And if it don't
Yeah.
work, you still got a goal that you wanted before that plan. Pivot, execute until you reach the goal. Like that's the name of it. It's not I had a plan A and didn't work, so oh man, that sucks. I got to go to plan B. Nah, bro. Execute the game plan. Put points on the board.
Like how he,
That's
Boy,
good.
boy.
That's
right.
I love
good.
it.
Can we drop the mic on that? Listen, I mean,
Right.
I think what people understand as even parents, if you allow your kids and tell them sports is a lesson, right? Like if you use the way he broke down those plays, right? And I was just having a conversation with my guys here, and I'm like, when you're lining up against each other, the receiver goal is what? To get a touchdown, right? Or to get yard or to get the first down, whatever. I said the person lining up against him, what's his goal? Is to stop
Just
you.
stop
I
it.
said, right. So if you look at the person lining up against you and you look at it as, okay, that's poverty, that's drugs, that's distraction, and start naming all these things that they're trying to stop you from getting into the end zone. So when you lining
That's
up,
it.
your mind is going, oh, I got to figure out how to get around you. If I got to hit you, if I got to do a 2-1-2, I'm going to get past you, right? So that's the same thing. If we teach the kids, playing a sport is really teaching you a life lesson. It's not about making money. It's not about making you this famous person. Learn the life lessons. Like I told the kids last summer about baseball. You have home, first, second, third. Pitcher, what's the pitcher's job? And they were like, pitcher is to strike you out. Okay, so pitcher could be drugs, false, the wrong relationship. Their goal is to strike you out, to never let you get to first base. What is your first base? Well, first base is junior high, right? Home is elementary, first is junior high, second is high school, third is college. So, I mean, if you really look at it, sports really is like a life lesson that we all, not just young ones, but that we, even as adults, if we pay attention to, we can learn from. So you said something.
That's exactly why I wrote the book. You hit it right on the head. Whew.
You said
Amen.
others don't determine your success. You do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that.
Odds. That's what odds stand for. I know if you black in America, if you're a black young man in America, I know you feel like you got odds against you. I feel like I had odds against me, but when I realized the odds just stands for others, the D don't, the other D the determine, and then the S success. Others don't determine your success. You do. It's the actions you take, the decisions you make, like the choices. So, like you said, you can have poverty, you can have drugs, you can have adversity, you can have all these things that's gonna hit you. Those are the other things that you're gonna either let it be your crutch or let it be your catapult. Either you're gonna say and blame something on that, why it don't determine your success, or you're gonna figure out a way around it. You're gonna overcome those odds. So that others don't determine your success is definitely the acronym for odds that I created, because I realized they don't. We just let it be our excuse for why we achieved something or why we didn't. And at the end of the day, it's really a choice and a decision. So like you said, the game of sports is one big life lesson. And I don't even really, a lot of times I like to call it life prep, because when you take a look at it, it's just prepping you for life. And if you play sports, you get a chance to practice life every single day. How you gonna respond to the highs and the lows every single day, and that's what gives you that advantage in the real world. For a lot of people who never played sports, you get a chance to practice how you're gonna respond to those highs and those lows, those wins and those losses. So when you do get into the real life highs and lows, win losses, technically you done been there before. You done experienced it before to some degree.
That's right.
And you got this intelligence, this emotional intelligence of how you're gonna respond to it and how you're gonna handle it when it happens. So it's one of those things we just got to be aware of it. And if athletes could to take that and harness that thought process, it's gonna be a win for them all. And that's why I had to write the book, because I felt that it was never been taught in the classroom or in a course or in the book, and I wanted to have a tool that athletes can have in their hand. So they can say, I never heard this anywhere else, but now you got this tool in your hand that can actually show you that thought process.
And it's a very powerful tool. It doesn't need to just be athletes. It could be in the workforce, because it's still in corporate America, you're still fighting for a position, whether it's president, vice president, account, whatever, you're still fighting for position. So you still got to strategize. I like swimming. Like if you look at swimming is powerful, right? So you're the only one, it's just you, right? Your training is you're training against a force. Water's no joke to play in. People have drowned, right? So when you inhale to go in, you've got to, yeah, when you inhale, you're like, and then you go in, you got to exhale, right? Because you got to let the water out. You only got a few seconds. It's like you don't have time to pout, because if you pout, you're going down. You don't have time to throw a you have no time. You have to keep going, because one wrong move, you're going down. One wrong inhaling at the wrong time, you could take in too much water. I mean, swimming is like, that's a different kind of sport, right? So look at it as life. One wrong inhale, exhale, one wrong move, one wrong, you can drown, you can miss it, you can start going down, right? So you're right. If we start teaching and take every sport, because every sport can teach us something, even though you don't play it, it can teach you something, whether it's volleyball, whether it's soccer, whether it's track. I mean, come on, running the hurdles. If you're running a hurdle and you take an extra step and you're not supposed to, or you in that hurdle, you going down. Like, you have to have the right timing, the right step, the right leap. I mean, it's a life lesson. Carmen, you have something?
All good. I'm just really enjoying it. But I want to hear more about your books.
Yeah,
And I liked everything you're going through is preparing you to where you're going to.
that's right.
Like, tell us some more about that. And tell us about, you mentioned a curriculum. So your books, is there a curriculum that goes along with the books that people can get their hands on?
Yes. So the book is called "What's Next: How to Transition Like a Champion." And in the process of
Mhm.
writing it, I never wrote a book in my life. Of course, my Spanish grade in college was higher than my English grade, because you come from the hood. Sometimes you don't speak right, you don't talk right, so you definitely don't spell right.
Right.
so so I write this book. As I'm writing it, the first 10 days in, I get like 15,000 words, and it's not coming out how I thought it was going to come out. So I start over. Well, I finally get the book done, and then I go back and look at those 15,000 words, and I'm like, you know what? This was like a curriculum, like a class type setting stuff. So I ended up releasing that right after I released the book. So the book is "What's Next: How to Transition Like a Champion," and the curriculum is called a transition playbook. And both of them have been used for that curriculum format. However, the curriculum has tests and quizzes inside of it that's going to help rack your brain and force the issue. However, I've seen that same thing happen with the book. So I just wanted to have that tool that can be taught, whether in high school, whether in college, or whether somebody was just working on themselves on some personal development, on a personal development level, to have the tool in their hand that's going to force them to think outside their box and get outside this athletic mindset and use those intangible transferable skills in sports, in life, and in business. Like you said, it's the same process. It's just a different vehicle, and all those same things apply across the board once you understand the principles. So that was the basis of it. And in the process of me creating all that, this idea of making it simple for people came about, and it was called I call it a transition formula. And it's pretty simple. I never was good at math. Well, at least when I got to college, I was, and I thought I was. And this idea came to me. If somebody would have told me this in college, I probably would have been a whole lot better in math. But math was pretty much about solving problems, solving
That's
the
right.
problem.
Hmm.
And when I realized life in sports and business is about solving problems. Like,
Problems.
the better you're at solving problems, the more success you have. So when I
That's right.
transitioned, I came with this math equation, and it was simple. It's called a transition formula, and it was T, the letter T, plus C equals ST. And that's T stands for takeaway. Whatever you're growing through in life or going through in life, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, what can you take away from it? Because if you can
That's
find
right.
something to take away from it, most likely the
Mm.
thing that you take away is going to be valuable to you or somebody else in the next phase of your life or in your next phase of your business. So once you take it away,
Mhm.
the C stands for correlate. How does that problem or that thing you took away correlate to something else? How does it correlate to life? How does it correlate to business? How does it correlate to something else in your life, or where you at or right now or where you're going? And once you realize how it correlates, how do you carry it over? That's the next C. And once you realize how to
Man,
carry it over,
come
if you can
on.
carry that same principle over, it's going to give you an unfair advantage or give you a winning edge. It's going to put you ahead of the game. And when you do that right, the T plus the C plus the C, that's going to equal a ST, which is a successful transition. And that right there is what I was able to demonstrate myself. And once I was able to put it in words, I started seeing other people applying the same principle, but it was never broke down to a simple formula that can be taught. So that's when I went in and created some curriculums and more ebooks. So all that is on DerrickFurlow.com. And it's literally, I feel like I wanted to just put everything that the Lord had showed me that I had grown through down what other people can have access to it, so they can learn from my mistakes and everybody else's mistakes, so they don't have to make no same mistakes in their life. So that transition formula has been a miracle in disguise for me, and I know it's going to bless a lot of other people, and it's blessing people every single day.
Listen, I already see a part 2. I mean, you just loaded. You just
That formula
loaded.
was hot. That formula was hot right there.
Yes.
Look, I did that formula for myself. I was like, okay, wait a minute, T plus. I was like,
T
wait a
plus
minute.
C plus C.
Let's see.
You start
Carry
thinking,
away. Take
right?
away.
Then carry over.
Carry over.
I said, oh, wait, hold on. But it was good because it makes you think. What? Because I'm kind of putting out some fire in the situation now. But I like what he said. What can you take away? You know, what was the C? What was the other C?
Carry over.
Take away, correlate, carry over.
Correlate.
Take away.
Hold on, take
so
away.
First one's T, take away. Next C, correlate. C, carry over. Yep.
Now I wanted to ask you,
correlate.
in your video, you talked about in transition, out of transition, and transitioning. Like so how would an athlete know if they're in transition, out of transition, or transition somewhere? How do they know? Because right now, COVID-19, players who have always thought they wanted to go to the NFL, and now there's no camps, and the opportunity is slim. How do they know if they're in transition, out of transition, or transitioning somewhere else?
So Karen, I like to apply that across the board. So that one right there, you don't know. And I say this phrase: you either in transition, you just came out of a transition, or a transition is on its way. So if you're in transition, stuff ain't going how you thought it was going to be. Like everybody in 2020 in a transition to some degree.
That's right.
If you just came out of a transition, you just got that new deal, that free agent deal. You just got the new job, that new promotion. Like you just got married, you just bought this house. Like that's a transition phase in general. You just got this new job. Or if everything is all good and life is on the up and up, get ready. Transition coming. So it's just a matter of you being aware that when everything all good, transition coming. When things ain't all good, you're probably in transition. And it's just a matter of you being aware. So that can be taken across the board to anybody. Athletics, I think you're in athletics, period. I'm going to say everybody in transition. Right now, they ain't got no fans in the stadium. So that's a transition. When you start speaking up and using your platform for a cause, that's a transition because it wasn't happening in 2019 to a degree. So it's just a relevancy of you being aware to where you are in life. And I think everybody could call it. When things are always good, then hey, you might not be in transition, but one of them away. So it's just a matter of time. And that time frame could look different for everybody. It's just a thought process to always be aware of. And if you're aware of it, it makes things go smoother because you don't think, oh, something's happening to you. You just expect it. It's part of the game. It's like you're playing the game and you're playing defense. You don't think you're going to get ran over every once in a while. You don't think you're going to get hit every once in a while. You don't think you're going to get hurt every once in a while. Well, it's part of the game. It's going to come with it. Transition is a part of life. It's a part of sports. It's a part of business. It's going to come with it. Just a matter of when and what it looks like.
So basically, transition will always happen. You can't.
It's just like change. You can't stop transition. It's just like change.
It's always going to happen. So it's just knowing where you are in the transition. Like he said, if you're living life and things have been good and you flying high, transition is going to come, right? If you're going through transition, still you're transitioning to the next level, the next place. So yeah, that was good. That was good. I tell you what, I like the formula, y'all. I'm kind of like messed up on this formula because if we learn to take away everything that we go through, and you're like, okay, this was, as they say, chew this, throw this, chew up the meat, throw out the bones kind of thing. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I needed to learn. This is what I needed to see. I don't need this part. It's kind of like you're separating it, right? And then you're taking it to the next level. Now, what I tell my guys, I said, listen, when life happens, don't get, yes, you get mad, you get frustrated, but take it and turn it into a tool and start building your legacy. You might take that situation, turn it into a hammer. You might take the next situation, turn it into a nail. You might take the next situation, turn it into a piece of plywood, and just start building your legacy. And before you know it, either you're going to build a big house or you're going to build a skyscraper. It's up to you. But use what you go through as a tool and build, make it a step and start stepping up. Oh man, I went through this. Let me make this another step up. So it's kind of like, I like that, the formula, but that was good. Karen, you got something?
So, did you ever complete your goal and make your for your family and put them in another position as far as for your mom and your stepfather?
So that goal is an ongoing goal. We've done some things now where we don't do Christmas gifts. We do family trips. So that's been one of those things that was part of the goal, because I want to expose my nieces and my nephews to something different outside of their environment in Atlanta, so they can see something different. They can have that little urge, that itch to be more, do more, and have more. So I slowly and but surely always doing something differently. But the goal is never ending, because we still on this grind. The same mission is still in the works. So whether it's from me starting my business to getting into the sales industry, as I achieve different milestones in my personal life, it's still overall towards the same goal. So yes, to say the answer to that, but also yes, that we're still working on it, because it ain't over yet. It's still work to be done. But being that example.
Oh, I think we lost. You still there?
Yeah.
I think we lost. Can you still? Oh, he's muted.
He's muted.
Got to unmute her. See if
Oh,
you're muted.
You're
You're
muted.
muted. You're muted.
While we're doing that, hey Joey! I'll tell you what, Joey
Yeah.
has been watching us from the beginning. I noticed we hadn't been seeing Joey for a minute, so thank you for coming back. We did miss you, because Joey always used to have questions for us and different things like that. So glad to have you back, Joey. Yes. Carmen, you'll get to meet Joey. I'm telling you, when we first started, Joey was always following us, right?
Derrick, you're still muted. You're still muted. So you know what? This has been so good. I just like, I know it's gonna be a part 2, and I would love to put him in front of parents, because he has such a powerful message.
Yes. And he's one of them that is going to tell you the truth. Like, everybody does not make the 1%, and it's okay. Right? Like, it is really okay. And the fact of he's like, I have to do, God, what do you want?
Right.
And everybody's not going to say that, right? But he did. And it turned out the same formula I use to play, to get in that end zone, to do whatever I have to do on that football field, is the same formula, the same grind I'm using on this side of life, right? Of what I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, that was good.
So basically, you were saying same playbook.
Same playbook.
Just a different field.
Just same playbook, different field.
Yeah. So I like the fact that he was like, put that one goal in mind. And so no matter what vehicle gets you there, you still keep that goal before you. And so his goal and what motivation is to put his family, his parents' family, in a better situation. And so whether it's through selling books or whatever, that's the goal.
Right.
And I love that the goal was selfless. It wasn't about him. And I think that's why he succeeded, because it wasn't about him. And he even said that when he submitted to God and he was like, it's not about me, it's bigger than me,
Mhm.
then more doors opened for him. So I like
Everything
that.
in life is bigger than us. It doesn't matter whether you play sports, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a nurse, whether whatever position you're in, whether you're a teacher, everything is bigger than us. And I think when we really see that, it makes life more simple. But if we're just in our own world, it's about me. No, it's really
Hmm.
not, because you have and you affect everybody that's around you. You could do it good or you could do it bad. Whether you're a teacher, you could just like halfway teach and don't care and just pass your
Mm,
kids on, you're going to hurt them. Or if you're a teacher that takes your time and really focus on the child, then you're going to make them, set them up for success. It's we all play a part. Everybody, it's bigger than us.
right.
It
It
is.
is.
So yeah, that was good. I kind of hate that he can't come back, but
I know.
you
I
see
have
his
more
website.
questions.
I know, right?
Hmm.
So listen, guys, you see his website below, DerrickFurlow.com. You can go get his book. You can probably book him. You can find out more information. And like Karen said, we'll probably have to do a part 2 because
Yeah.
there's a lot of questions,
Yeah.
and yeah, that
Yeah.
formula, y'all. I'm taking
So,
that formula. Okay, dog, I'm
right.
taking that
Wait,
formula.
wait, wait. I need some help with that formula. Okay. T plus C equals ST. What was the
Right.
ST for?
It's,
ST was
Successful transition.
okay.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That
So,
was good.
all right, so we're going to give it to y'all. The formula is T plus C plus C equals
Go
successful transition.
ST. Yes.
And
Yes.
so T means
Yes.
take away, C is correlate, and the other
Hmm.
C is carry over.
Carry
Yes.
it over.
Carry it over. That's what I'm
Hmm.
Mm.
talking about. Carry it on
Hmm.
over. You got that? You got the K dog?
I
No,
got
wait.
that K dog, and I got 3% on my phone. So
I
if
know. We're
I
about
if
to
we
go. All right, so listen, you guys, thank you for joining the show tonight. I hate that he couldn't come back, but we want to say thank you, Derrick Furlow Jr., for being on the show. This was really good. Join us Sunday at 9 o'clock where we have another guest, and we're going to talk about life in sports and out of sports. This is your girl, Shannon. I Can We Talk Sports? I'm here with my guest, my host.
this is Karen. What's up? I mean, bye. I mean,
And we,
This is Carmen, aka Mama D.
and we will see you Sunday at 9 o'clock right here on Can We Talk Sports. Good night.
good
Good
night.
night. See ya.